Hey! Today we are talking about the Rust March wipes happening for Rust Console Edition, and a bit of an update as far as what's been happening and kind of what's coming here for the future, and you know, just the goings-on of Rust Console Edition. I'm Jade Monkey, and yes, again, this is Rust Console, and we're talking about the Xbox, the PlayStation, the next gens, and everything in between. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and pop out here. Okay, so if you didn't know, we now have Builder's Paradise on main branch, and if you need to search it, literally type this in on your search window, or you can just type in build. That works as well. But just know it's on main branch. They are 4K maps. They are instant craft, no materials needed in the TC, even though it'll say decayed, but you don't need it. You can use the hammer to hit things to destroy them. That's a nice feature. Let's see what else. The 4K maps, there's no monuments, so you can't test out some of the camera systems because there's no way to get that loot, because there's no loot tables, essentially. So you can't test the monuments there. Unfortunately, you can't trade things at the outpost or bandit camp because they don't exist, but it's extremely useful for things like electricity or even builds itself. I mean, it's in the name. You can try things like this bad boy right here. We have the Solo Vault build. This is, we'll go ahead and put it in the upper right hand corner. This bad boy is specifically designed for solos, and you can build a couple of these or just one of these. I would recommend testing this out on Builder's Paradise, as the drop boxes can be a little, there can be some gotchas there, but if you test it there in Builder's Paradise, you're good to go, so don't even sweat it. Alright, so let's go over here and talk about the wipe, but along with the wipe here, we're also going to get a new skin set that's going to come in. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this, the transition between winter and springtime. So we're going to get the new skin sets, but this does give you a little bit of time to get what I think, me personally, in my opinion, I think is one of the best deployable sets, or they call it architecture here. And again, I don't get paid for any of this stuff. I have to buy it just like you guys do. We don't get any like kickbacks or any money from this. I'm just saying, if you're into the game and you play a lot and you have loot rooms, these are really nice. They light up on all sides. I think it's reasonably priced. You get almost everything that you're looking for in like a deployable set. That's like, you've got sheet metal door, you've got armored door, you've got these boxes, and it's like, what is it? Is it 480 or it's 800? I can't remember. Anyways, I did a video on it, but just know you only have a handful more days to check this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the wipes. All right, for monthly main branch, Rust Console Edition, March 9th, 2023, there is no wipe. You keep the blueprints and you keep the map, okay, for March 9th. That's Thursday. Now, keep in mind, March 30th, 2023 is a soft wipe for monthlies only. What that means is you keep the knowledge, but the map, you lose everything else, more or less. So that's called a soft wipe. So, you know, just plan for that. There's plenty of time to play. If you're like, oh man, what about the wipe? Just get in there and play, man. And if you're like, hey, my server's getting stale, jump on a weekly, dude. Get crazy. Get on weekly, stack some BPs before the wipe on Thursday, and you'll have a blast, I promise. And if it's a little too heady on wipe day, stack those BPs before Thursday, and then sign in on Friday and have a blast. So check it out. All right, so maybe you know, maybe you don't. Power Surge is in full swing. It's been on main branch for 2 weeks now. And yeah, it's kicking. And so, like, again, if you've been away for a minute and you're like, or you've just avoided this altogether, might I point you towards the Rust Power Setup. We'll go ahead and link that in the upper right-hand corner. This is for people that are like, I just want to get in there, get some basic power so I can go to turrets later. I can set up, you know, heaters, lights, trap bases. This is going to get you, this is going to let you hit the ground running. We have more in-depth tutorials that actually go through and explain different things, but this is literally going to get you set up and like good to go. You can mix power sources, you can do solar panels, generators. It's hot. So, and if if you've been playing and you're confused, that'll help too. So, okay, let's go on to the last piece we have here. I don't think I missed anything. And let's go over to weekly main branch. Okay, so now we have weekly main branch, Thursday, March 9th, 2023. We have what's called a soft wipe, and that means you keep the blueprints and the map wipe. So you keep the knowledge and you lose everything else. Don't let that deter you from starting on weeklies. If anything, that is the best time to start, as we said before. Pump those BPs just before the wipe, like on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then just play like Thursday or Friday, and you'll have a blast. Like, it's awesome. Like, don't be afraid, because we have text tree, right? Like, it's not that big a deal. Run a few monuments, you're on your way. You see us do it all the time live on stream. Okay, so the time for this is going to be 1:30 p.m. is when it should trip over, and then 10:30 a.m., or I should say 1:30 p.m. EST, 10:30 a.m. PST, and 6:30 p.m. BST. Now, please note, these times will push up 1 hour next week. Is that right? Is that daylight savings time for most people? For most people. Except what? Arizona? I think Arizona. Okay, so if you're like, hey, that's cool, power surge is great, but like, what's the next big piece? Well, it's going to be farming, but after that is going to be our first ground transportation is horses. Yes, we need them because our maps are getting so much bigger. So if you'd like to know about horses, everything we know about it up to this point, I'm going to put that up on the end screen now. If it's not up there already. Hey, if you have any power surge questions, come into the live stream, put them down in the comments in this video or any other video. I read all those. We'll be more than happy to go through those examples live on stream to point them out for you. And yeah, and hey, actually, before we leave, we are thinking about doing house calls for electricity. So if you're interested, just kind of say yes down in the comments. Don't say the server quite yet. I don't want you guys getting like attacked. But you know, pop in on stream and we'll talk about it, and then I'll show up to your server, and then we'll set up your electricity for you, and then we'll bounce out of there. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.